Hey everyone, Rick here, and I thought I would unbox some pre-painted figures that I purchased from Alternative Armies. Now they're based out of Scotland. I've done business with them in the past and have always really enjoyed their stuff. In fact, I've purchased both painted and not painted figures from them. And they were actually some of the first 15mm figures that I ever painted. Now, they originally had a site called 15mm.co.uk. That's where I originally found them. And since then, though, they are strictly Alternative Armies, alternative-armies.com. They integrated the 15mm.co.uk website into their own. So when it comes to their pre-painted figures, here's an example of a skeleton of theirs that I had purchased from them previously. So it's basically a standard tabletop quality paint job. Not too bad from arm's length or, looking down at it from a table, fully based, painted and everything. These are metal miniatures, finished pretty nicely. That was just a skeleton I had gotten quite a while ago. I saw on the site that they had multiple different offerings. They have fantasy, sci-fi, 15mm armies for Hordes of the Things, which is actually how I first discovered them, was through their Hordes of the Things offerings when I was originally looking that up. So here's just a little shout out for them. 15mm stuff. I actually have a custom, because they do also offer commission work. So if you like their painting, and it's very reasonably priced. I'll tell you exactly what I paid for all of this stuff in a second, but the commission work I'm having them do on hundreds of 15mm figures for an upcoming project I'm working on is fantastic. So they have 15mm, but all this stuff in this box today is going to be 25, 28mm. But they have some of their own games as well. So that is them. Find them on eBay as well. It looks like maybe each of the different kinds of things that I purchased from them have been boxed individually, because I picked up some armies from them. Not necessarily armies, but units. Well, you'll see in a second. So let's just open this one up. I'm not sure what's what, so we will take a look here. Oh, nice. So actually, it's not individual by lot, because this guy was by himself, but it is like a big ogre or orc on riding a rhinoceros. So when I saw this on the website, I just thought, that is too funny. I had to pick him up. Number one, and I did not even realize this till just now, his shield is like a door that he ripped off the hinges and is now using that as a shield. That is so clever. But I've never seen rhinoceros cavalry before. Never seen an ogre riding a rhinoceros into battle. So I had to pick up this guy just for my minis collection. That is fantastic. And this is kind of a spoiler to what's to come, but we also have a couple cavalry. Now, with these lances, they are going to probably be bent a bit, so we will have to have some forgiveness for that. But I can't remember exactly what these were, what type of cavalry these were, if they were Normans, or they weren't from a fantasy range. In fact, they were from a historical range, but I can't remember what figures these were supposed to represent. So here is one. But basically, the reason I picked these guys up is because out of my entire minis collection, I have very few cavalry. So I just wanted to pick up some medieval-looking cavalry just to have them, throw them into an RPG or just a mini skirmish game if I have need for some horseback riders. But again, there's very little facial detailing in the way of paint. It is just, very basic work on there, but serviceable. Just exactly what I'm looking for. This stuff was ready to go. Add it to your shopping cart on the website. Check out. They ship it to you. And now I have a whole bunch of these painted figures. Fantastic. Just like, I'll go out and get Pathfinder battles and whatnot. This guy came unsaddled, but I'll just glue him back on. Same deal here. There's still variations in the paint scheme, so no two will look alike even if they are posed similarly. So that was this first little box. I think there's 10 total of those horseback cavalry guys. That is going to be the only rhinoceros cavalry. So they just kind of must have mixed everything that I picked up into various boxes here. And here is a standard bearer, horseback rider. That will focus, not too bad. You can see there actually is, the sculpts are really nice. You can see the facial detailing in the sculpt. So if you did want to touch this up, obviously maybe put something on the banner. You absolutely could, but just as is isn't too bad. Their base work is always really nice and clean. It's, not sure what this is, if it's just a resin base that they manufacture themselves. Pretty nice. This was part of my lot of 10 medieval cavalry soldiers. Here is another one. This may be, actually maybe the champion, because I know the unit of 10 cavalry I picked up was, I'm pretty sure, a standard, a champion, and 8 basic guys. So no facial detailing necessary here with his helmet. Otherwise, he's looking pretty cool. Shield in hand. Excellent. Plus, I'm loving these boxes in foam because I'm always running out of places to store miniatures. Alright, looks like this is going to probably be the rest of the cavalry. And don't forget, these ship to Nebraska from Scotland. So a couple bent lances is no problem at all. Otherwise, these guys are looking pretty good. I'll just run through some more of these since they're all basically the same type of thing. But this is just to give you an idea of the kind of an up-close view of, if you went to their website, saw some figures that they had advertised as painted and ready to ship, this is basically what you'll be getting when you get them. Here's another guy who came off his saddle. But otherwise pretty cool. Some points as where the lance is bent need a bit of touch up on the paint, but that's easily remedied. Because again, these are metal miniatures, which as much as I like the portability and durability of plastic figures or resin, there's just something about the weight of playing with metal minis that can never be duplicated. All right. So I think that is my full company of cavalry. So I should have 10 here when all is said and done. And I do. Alright, so there is my 10-man cavalry unit from Alternative Armies. This was, again, advertised on the website as already painted, ready to ship. So I just love it when I find something I want on there, because you don't have to wait for it or anything. It's just ready to go in stock and then on its way. So, yep, that's fantastic. Ogre, Rhinoceros, Cavalry. Gosh, I love that so much. We will gently move these guys to the side and see what we have next. Should be infantry and single person figures from here. Alright, let's pull out some of these guys. Someone's shield got lost. Alright, so just like with the cavalry, there is this other range of, I think that may be his shield right there, because it looks like that's what's going on. Okay, so just like with the cavalry, there was a whole selection of medieval historical figures, which was fantastic. I'm actually not sure. This guy probably is missing multiple things. He may have been the standard bearer. Here's a flag for him. So on these guys, just some additional things to re-affix, but I really like these spears. So I wanted just a unit of mixed spearmen just to throw in as, you know, gate guards or something with some of my miniature building authority castles. Because a lot of times what I'll do is I will have my miniature building authority castles or city, Dwarven Forge city builder stuff set up, and I'll want some like town guard or something. And I'll a lot of times just use my Warhammer Fantasy figures that I've accumulated to do that, but I don't have any spearmen. So these guys just look like they would make excellent gate guards or border guards or something. So that worked out really well when I saw those on there. Plus, look at all the different shield variations. Couple bent spears and a couple lost shields. That's a fantastic thing about miniatures, is that if that happens, just stick some of my favorite Gorilla Glue gel. That stuff is awesome. But I just love the variety of shields. And I'll back the camera up in a second here too. Oh, who did this belong to? Probably that guy. Okay, so here is my regiment of these guys. What is there? 20 of them? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 20 of those guys. There is a flag bearer, and I believe that guy there is probably the champion, but they all have different kinds of shields, so it's kind of a mixed unit. It's kind of really neat, actually. I love how that kind of looks, so I can't wait to get those guys mixed in with some of my miniature building authority castle pieces, so I can have just this unit of town guard or whatnot. Just a couple shields to glue back on their arms and touch up a couple paint spots here and there where the spears had bent over, but overall, looking pretty good. I am so beyond thrilled. They only had one of each of those spearmen and cavalry units in stock. Otherwise, I would have bought more. Many more. But I also didn't want to commission them just yet because it wasn't really a necessity like the 15mm stuff that I purchased from them was. Now here's a whole bunch of other figures think a lot of these are single kind of wizard, necromancer looking guys, and some barbarian humans as well. There we go. So here's kind of an evil robed necromancer character. So in addition to just mass groups of generic infantry and cavalry, I also wanted to grab maybe some characters or some people you might run into when playing a game. Here's an example of one of the human barbarians. It was a lot of, I think like 12 or so human barbarians. And I just thought that would be neat to use them as like bandits or raiders or something, or as player characters if someone wanted to play as a barbarian. Some of these guys are just too awesome. Like this hunched old wizardy necromancer. It's like, gross, what is that, like dripping from his nose or something? But that is fantastic. I just love the pose on this guy, this, back alley lech walking around. And yeah, you don't want to follow him back to his home because he will add you to his brew that he is concocting. But anyway, yeah, he might have a little cabin in the woods you come across. Yeah, that guy is just creepy, and I love it. Okay. And these are all nicely individually wrapped with bubble wrap, so that's kind of cool. Here's another one of these. I think it was a pack of 5 wizards or necromancers or something. So there's another one of these again. These are all metal figures, so they have that nice metal heft to them. Oh, here's another. Man, I'm really grabbing all of these right up front. This guy's really cool because I like his skull staff. Come on and focus. Probably all that bubble wrap back there may be hindering my ability to focus that. There we go. So he has some cool accessories on his belt, his necklace. His robes are a really neat color too. So that's probably one of my favorites. One of my favorite necromancers. This guy is just an evil warlord looking guy. He has like blood dripping on his horns. I'll try to pick up the pace here a bit because we're already running on about 18 minutes. Here's another evil guy. I don't think this was part of their barbarian pack. What other pack did I get? This is like an evil knights pack. But again, check out alternative-armies.com. See all their pre-painted stuff. They even have terrain. And of course, all their unpainted stuff. Unpainted, steampunkish kind of things. Futuristic sci-fi figures. Fantasy, historical. 15mm, 28mm. All ranges, all genres, all sizes. Painted, not painted. They have it all. They're based out there in Scotland. Just a bunch of barbarians. Now we are really getting into the barbarians. This is some kind of like half boar, half human guy. Dual wielding woman, it looks like, honestly. Just a few left. This guy's cool with his gigantic axe and a lot of armor. Ah, good. I was hoping for some range. So there's kind of a ranger archer guy. Pretty nice. If that will focus. Man, I don't know what the issue with my focus is. Female barbarian. Awesome. 3 left, it looks like. Here's your classic two-handed barbarian. Love this guy. Looks like he jumped right out of Skyrim. Last but not least, one final figure. So that then, folks, is that for this alternative armies unboxing of these 28 millimeter pre-painted figures. Lots of infantry, lots of cavalry, a few specialized units thrown in there. Overall, I ordered this from Scotland, alternative-armies.com, on August 13th. I received it in the mail Monday, the 20th of August. So literally a week. Took a week from ordering it to getting it here, and it was 10 Great Britain pounds, GBP or whatever that is. So 10 British pounds was all the shipping that I had to pay on this, and it arrived in a week. So that is fantastic. Total, just out of transparency, I paid for this entire lot. I can't remember what it broke down individual units as, but it is $357 US for these figures. So what's that? 20, 30, maybe 40, a little over 40 some figures, about 50-ish if you wanted to round up. So $350, 7 US dollars for about 50 painted figures. Not too bad. So I appreciate everyone watching as always. Check out my other videos. I'm posting a bunch of a lot of things from Europe showed up this week. Well, of course, I ordered it all. I went on a binge. You'll hear August 13th a lot in those videos because I made something about that day. I went shop happy, and Europe is all about the pre-painted wargaming terrain and figures. Oh my gosh, I love it. So anyway, folks, thank you all so much for watching as always, and until next time.